Hey, welcome to art class. Today we're going to work on making our clay whistles. So I've got a couple samples here, neither of them are quite finished. We've got a whistle here. Let's turn off the lights so you can see that a little bit better. That makes this sound, and this whistle makes a little bit higher sound, so it depends on the shape. And the length of the bowl that we're going to create. But we're going to create a whistle, and then we're going to turn that whistle into something else, something decorative. So to complete this today, let's set these aside. You're going to need a baggie to keep your clay nice and moist. You're going to need a little cup of water. It's not full. We're going to take a little bit of this clay and we're going to put it right inside to make our slip. And then we're going to put the lid on and just let that set while we're working today. We're going to need 2 tongue depressors, one of which I flattened out and created a beveled edge for you on, and the other kind of comes together, and this is what we're going to use to make the sound come out. We're going to need a fettling knife, and this we're going to use to help create our clay and to score our edges so that we're able to attach them to another piece. We're going to need a ribbon tool, and this we're going to be using to cut out the inside of the clay to make it hollow so that there is sound. And then of course we're going to need some clay. So we're going to divide our clay into 3 pieces. We're going to create a mouthpiece with 1 little piece. So I'm going to set that aside, and then I'm going to divide the other 2 pieces. I'm just going to make a small one today into 2 small spheres. We're going to make 2 little pinch pots. So what I'm doing is I'm cupping my hand and I'm slapping the clay into it and turning it. So number 1, I'm shaping the clay, but more importantly, I'm popping any air bubbles that I see in here. So I'm shaping. Now, if your hand is straight, if it's not cupped, you're going to create a straight edge, and we don't want that for this. We want it to be cupped so that it creates a sphere. So you'll notice I'm cupping this hand, and I'm pulling it from one side to another until it creates a sphere, and I don't feel any big movement of the clay. I'll set that aside, and I'm going to do the other piece the same way. We'll also have a piece of felt on our table. Canvas works probably a little bit better, but felt will work just fine. Now these 2 pieces should be relatively close in size. This one looks to be a little bit bigger, but I think it'll be okay. I'll just make that side a little longer. So our next step then is we are going to create a pinch pot. So to create a pinch pot, we're going to take our thumb and we're simply going to press it into the middle. Now, I don't want to come out the other end, but I do want to go down enough. Our goal is to have every part of our clay be about this thick on the edge. So the next step is I want to take and I want to pinch my fingers. Now, I don't want to pinch up here by the opening first, because when you were little, you used to do that and you noticed that the top of your little pinch pot cracked. That's because you were squeezing that too much. So we've got our thumb in there, and I want to take my fingers and I want to pinch around the bottom first. So you see that these fingers are up and arched. I do not want to touch this part of the clay here. So I'm going to pinch at the bottom first. And I'm just going around and I'm doing this. Okay? And I want to do it until it's about this thick, and then I move on. So I'm just going to keep going until it all feels that same thickness. The bottom is good. You see it kind of is out a little bit. I could flatten it if I wanted, but I'm going to wait. And then I'm going to do the middle layer. Again, I still have that arch to my fingers, so I'm not touching this lip area. And I'm pinching this out and around until I feel that middle area, again, is all at about a thickness of about this. So 1/4 inch or so. And now that I've done the bottom and the middle, now I'm going to do the top, the lip area. And I'm just being super gentle because I don't want to squeeze it too hard. And when it's all about the same thickness, so I see that this is about the same thickness all the way around, I'm going to just kind of tap it lightly against the bottom to make this a flat edge. And if I want to reshape this at all, this would be the time to do that. I don't want to do too much of it because the more you work with clay, the more it's going to start to dry out. I'm going to just set that over there for a moment, and I'm going to repeat that process through this. So again, starting at the bottom, pinching until I feel that it's 1/4 of an inch or so. Then I'm going to do the middle. As I said before, this piece is probably a little bigger. Okay, and now I'm going to do the lip. And that's why it's called a pinch pot, because I'm pinching it. So if there's an area I feel that's a little thicker, I'm just going to thin that out until it's all about even. Again, I'm going to kind of flatten this bottom. I can reshape it if I want, but these should be pretty close. So this one looks to be a little bit smaller. So the lip still is flat enough, but I can also kind of squeeze this in a little bit so that it's closer to matching. Doesn't need to be perfect, but I'm just checking that the sides are there. Flatten this out. And again, I'm going to pull it in all the way around. Okay. All right. So the next thing I want to do is I need to attach these two pieces together. And we're going to do this through scoring. So I'll show you that in the next video.